When considering bourbon, which is one of America's finest exports and one of the best things to drink, one of the most important things to consider is proof. All bourbon starts at least 80 proof, but bourbon lovers like to drink things above 120. And bartenders say that if you use a higher proof bourbon, you're gonna get a better cocktail. But I'm here to ask, is that really true? Today, we're gonna take two bourbons, same maker, same house, same mash bill, different proof. And we're gonna see what happens when we make an old fashioned and a whiskey sour, two of my favorite cocktails. We wanna see which cocktail tastes better. Is the 80 proof cocktail gonna taste better? Is the 100 proof cocktail gonna taste better? And what does better actually mean when it comes to cocktails? So my quicker liquor picker-uppers, I'm so glad you're back here for another adventure with the barrel age. And we're gonna get started. So, the term proof dates back to the 16th century England when spirits were taxed at different rates depending on their alcohol content. In England, spirits were originally tested with a basic burn or no burn test, in which an alcohol containing liquid that would ignite is said to be above proof, and one which would not ignite to be under proof. A liquid just alcoholic enough to maintain combustion was defined as 100 proof and was the basis for taxation. Because the flash point of alcohol is highly dependent on temperature, it could be blah, blah, blah. That's the scientific stuff. Cheers. Basically, proof. 100 is like your baseline. If it lights, it's at 100. If it don't, it isn't. That 100 proof marker is also used in what? Bonded whiskey. Bottled in bond whiskey is the US government seal of approval that the whiskey has been aged at least 4 years, is at least 100 proof, and was made in one distilling season. Proof is used as a term less and less now by the cool kids. People want to usually say ABV. Remember this, if you're ever confused about the difference between proof and ABV, ABV is always going to be proof divided by 2. Proof is always going to be ABV multiplied by 2. So if the substance is 50% alcohol, it's 100 proof, 40% alcohol, 80 proof, 70 proof, 35% alcohol, you get it. 2 by 2, one way or the other. I have what I think is one of the best bourbons you can have in your arsenal. It's a good budget pick. I'm sick of using that word because bourbon should be attainable. Corn is not expensive and it's made right here in America. Old Granddad. Let's talk a little bit about the brand. So we've got the 80 and the 100. The story of Old Granddad. Old Granddad was actually a person, and guess what his real name was? Basil Hayden Sr. You've heard of Basil Hayden before, haven't you? One of the most ubiquitous high-end premium bourbons that you'll find in any bar worth their salt. He made bourbon the way he wanted. He went against the traditional grain of the time and chose to distill his bourbon with a higher percentage of rye. The high rye style of bourbon is something that bourbon aficionados chase. Now, high rye, what does that mean? Bourbon has to be 51% corn and the rest can be made of rye, malted barley, or wheat. Corn gives bourbon a sweet finish. Rye gives whiskey a spicy finish. So what happens when you use a high rye content in your bourbon? You get beautiful sweetness in the finish with that spice just fighting through in the mid palate. It really just gives a lot of potential for during the aging process for interesting things to happen in the bottle. And that's what bourbon is, it's interesting. You almost have a relationship with every sip you take. So we are going to make the whiskey cocktail, AKA the old fashioned with these. You know the drill, you know the deal. Easy recipe, let's do this. We are doing an old fashioned trial with 80 and 100 proof Old Granddad bourbon. Boom. Angostura bitters, always a must. I'm a 4- man myself. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Half an ounce simple syrup on each. Rule of thumb is a 4-to-1 ratio for your old fashioned. So we're gonna use 2 ounces of whiskey for each, so half an ounce simple syrup. Easy peasy. So this is our 80. And we're cracking this 100 for the first time, which I don't know if I've ever tasted the 100. I've had the 114 many times, the 116, excuse me. I love that sound. Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Now, the most important part, because what's our most important ingredient? Water! And where do we get water from? Dilution, baby. Let's try to be scientific. Let's see. 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. We'll go 8 ice cubes for each. Let's do that. 2, 4, and about 8. We're there. Pro tip, I can't find my spoon right now. I got beautiful cocktail spoons. They got skulls on top of them and all kinds of beautiful stuff, and they look expensive. I mean, just, it's great. Let me show you something. If you do not have your standard spoon with the long handle and the twirls and all that beautiful stuff, 2 of these skewers will do you fine. Chopsticks will do you fine. 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. Beauteous. Now it's time for an orange swath. Boom, boom. Okay, we need to see what we like better, and I'm going to need a volunteer to put one of these in my hand and not show me what I'm drinking. All right, this is real time. I don't know what I'm trying. It's either 80 or 100 proof, so let's see how we feel. I make a good old fashioned. That's the big boy. I feel like I just got like violated and I liked it. Oh my, I feel like something just goosed me. Damn, that's the big boy. Okay. I hate every smart bartender and bourbon lover I've ever met because every piece of information I don't want to be true seems like it's true. I thought if you go higher in the proof, the heat is going to make the cocktail less friendly. You got to remember, I'm a bartender. I'm serving the multitudes. I'm serving the public. Not everyone is a nerd about bourbon. So I thought the higher proof would scare somebody. This shit is beautiful. The higher proof is just like, pow! Just the flavor almost like, you know when you have a good horseradish on some oysters, which some of you will love that, others of you will think I'm disgusting. But it literally just, my entire olfactory system reacted with the 100 proof. All right, let me do that one more can. Oh, wow. It brings out the orange even. I mean, just all the flavors in here are just, what do the kids say? I'm not gonna do it. Everything, it's happening. And it's happening to a high degree. I don't even be drinking like that during these videos. Have you ever seen me take a 3rd sip ever? That's insane. I don't know what to do with my life now because here's the problem. It's very important to have a house old fashioned on your menu at your restaurant. Your life is going to be easier if you can do so with an 80 proof bourbon. But this is better. Like, I'm speechless. But I can't say speechless for long because we got work to do. So now we're gonna move on to the whiskey sour. Let's go. We were supposed to use some super foam and make a beautiful cocktail without egg white, but I can't find my magnetic stirrer. We're about to do something on the fly. Watch us work here. We're about to use a little methyl cellulose powder. Bam. Now shout out to Cocktail Time with Kevin Koss. He's got a whole procedure for this. I don't have a spoon, which is also causing issues at the momento. Shout out to Kevin Koss. I love you, but you make me buy a lot of shit. Y'all, this is so ghetto right now, but I'm gonna make it happen. All right, we got some methyl cellulose. It takes hot water. You only need a little. See how chunky that is? I'm gonna have to somehow figure out how to shake that bad boy up and let it do its thing. I've got some gum arabic here. And look, does this look like it's for drugs? We're just gonna stir, 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 stir. I'm gonna use a little more gum arabic. This is not scientific. We're just trying to see if we can make a foam. That was way too much. That was awesome. You know what? We're gonna rock and not make a cocktail that's chunky. And I think they say you have to add some cool water to the equation, which I have. God, Kevin, I feel like I'm embarrassing you right now. This is terrible. That looks crazy. I just want y'all to know that. I'm putting these powders away. We're gonna see what that does. And I have my cold water. It's not here. So we're just gonna shake this with ice. All right, so I might, oh, all right. A little bit of foam's happening. We're gonna just put the foam-ish stuff in here and let it hang out with its wang out. All right, it's whiskey sour time. Recipe's going to be 2 ounces bourbon, 3/4 ounces freshly squeezed lemon juice, 1/2 ounce simple, 1/2 ounce egg white, or 1/2 ounce of our shame foam. We need 2 fresh shakers. Remember, it's Corico or it's nothing when it comes to shakers. Best brand ever. 3/4 ounce lemon, 3/4 ounce, bam, lemon, and then 1/2 ounce simple. Bam. in the end, those are 2 ounces bourbon. Now, why did I pick these 2 cocktails? Because they're very distinct. The Old Fashioned is an aromatic, stirred, very booze forward. The Whiskey Sour is shaken with that beautiful lemon flavor that represents the most popular style of cocktail. And we're gonna see if the high proof factor carries over. Literally, the high proof made me just look smarter right here, yo. Like, I was not ready for how awesome that was. So here's what we're gonna do. I know I made that foam. We're gonna make the cocktail without it, and then afterwards, we're gonna see if that foam screws it up, because I'm gonna be mad if I mess this cocktail up messing with this nasty foam. All right, we're gonna pour our whiskey sour, and I like to give a lesson within a lesson. So these are coupes. That's what a whiskey sour is made for, because you know what? You can put a martini in it, and it's just got that kind of craft, kind of bona fide to it, right? Cute, sexy. Interesting. Less foam on the higher proof. We see that? Less of that foam. I wonder, is that going to make a difference in how it feels, if you will? All right, we're going to have to do this again. Time to taste, test time. Tastes lovely. Okay.
Okay, stand by.
There's more going on here. And that's the higher proof one. Holy crap. Wow. Now, I didn't even add bitters just because I really wanted to taste what was going on with the whiskeys. And I'm going to have a crisis of confidence every time I make a menu. Here's what I really wanted to determine, because I wanted to make a series of bourbon cocktails and I didn't know if I was going to use an 80 or an 86. I think from now on, in my well, in my bars, I'm going to insist that there is an 86 proof bourbon. I think it really makes a difference. And I think the difference is probably worth it. And if that means I have to spend a few extra bucks, that's what that means. The next time we talk, I'm going to show you 2 of my favorite budget, quote unquote, whiskeys for your well. In my opinion, when I judge a bartender, I look at what's in their speed well. And if you want to go 86 proof at a value, I've got a perfect pick for you. This was really interesting, and I've never taken the time to do this. 2 whiskeys, bona fide, same maker. The only difference in the 2 of them is the proof, and the higher proof whiskey just had so much more flavor. The bourbon people that are on Reddit that educate me and are also very snarky, there's a reason why. There was just so much more going on right here. However, let me tell you what this works for. A lot of people who drink cocktails in a glass like this, where there's lemon and there's sweetness, only will try vodka. People want to drink bourbon, but they sometimes don't know how. It is my job as a bartender to be an ambassador of flavor. And if you're into vodka, you're used to drinking at 80 proof. So this 80 proof version is going to probably be a lot more crowd pleasing. Now, does that mean I am a bit pompous about my palate because I like this one? Yes, it does. My palate is gangster. It's the tastiest stuff you can't even pronounce. No, I'm joking. I've worked a lot to taste, to share, to discuss, and to really care about what's going in the glass. And my palate is at the point that it enjoys this. I am going to serve this to who should have it and serve that to who should have it. I serve this to the person that drinks the Cosmopolitan, drinks the margarita, and wants to branch out. I serve this to the person that drinks their bourbon neat and thinks I'm stupid for putting bourbon in cocktails for any reason ever, but they want to be refreshed and they're sick of switching between their neat bourbon and Narragansett. I think these cocktails are healthier for you. So those of us who think we don't like anything fruity, think we don't like anything with any sweetness to it, try a higher proof whiskey in your cocktail and it will pay dividends, because this right here is yummy. When it comes to proof, when it comes to booze, when it comes to the factor of heat versus flavor, flavor definitely wins. I enjoyed the higher proof whiskey. Lower proof whiskey is going to be your ambassador for the uninitiated. Your higher proof whiskey is going to be something exciting for those who already are familiar. There's a bourbon for every season. It's one of my favorite things to mix with. And it's almost like a handshake because it's popular and it's from America. I love me some America for damn sure. In everything you do, don't be afraid to learn something. I just in real time had my mind completely changed from how it was about 3 minutes ago. This right here is what I mean when I talk about drinks that matter. In the comments, what have you found out when it comes to your drinking habits, the drinking habits of your guests? High proof, low proof, stirred, shaken. Does this make sense? Can you tell me a little bit about the heritage of Basil Hayden and old granddad? People get offended when you say it, but I'm gonna say it. The bourbon world seems like the mafia and it seems like there's 5 families and it's a thing of honor. But I'm gonna do some studying and try to take apart the bourbon families and find out who's responsible for what, because I had no idea that Basil Hayden had anything to do with this, and I'm never going to admit that to anybody. I'm gonna tell people that I've known that Basil Hayden was behind this, and I've known it since I was 7 years old. As always, this community means so much to me. And every day I want you to drink something awesome, eat something with soul, listen to some amazing music, and think critically. My name is Khalid Williams. I love all of y'all. Cheers.
I'm just gonna cut the emulsifier out completely.
Well, you know what? For ha-has, I can still do it. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. So let's see what happens with my ghetto super foam. Super foam in, reverse dry shake. So when you serve cocktails with either egg white or aquafaba, aquafaba is the water on chickpeas. Those are the 2 ways to get a nice foam on top of your cocktail. There's something called the dry shake. You put all of your ingredients in the shaker, you don't add ice, you shake. Then you add ice, you shake again. Then there's something called the reverse dry shake where you shake with ice and then shake without ice. And I've heard a lot of people say, yeah, all you're doing is making the cocktail too warm. But let's see. And here's what we'll learn here. Even if we don't get foam, if this still tastes good, we'll see that if we need to, as they say at Death & Company, bullshit a quick foam, we can do so. Wait a minute now. Wait a minute now. Oh, Lord have mercy. In the words of the great Poet Laureate, zip with the drip. Let's get to that. It's done did it, man. Still smell good. Yeah, that worked, and that makes me really happy. Methyl cellulose, gum arabic. I made a foam, the foam's good. Final test. We can, and then can we? Yeah. That right there is it. So that means I might just add, when I'm making my simple syrup, right? First hot water, methyl cellulose, shake it up, sugar, turn it into simple syrup, let it cool down, add the gum arabic, and this might do this for all of my drinks. Yeah. Again, my name is Khalid Williams. This channel is The Barrel Age. This community is all about drinks that matter and people who care in moments like this, because this is a straight up bazinga. I hope I've empowered you to do something amazing with beverages today. Cheers.